Today, we're diving into the 7 leadership secrets of one of the most incredible architects of winning in college football, Indiana Hoosiers head coach Curt Cignetti. He's not just a talker, he's a true builder. A former Nick Saban disciple at Alabama, Cignetti has spent his career turning around programs that were written off. He flipped Elon from losing seasons to playoff runs. He took James Madison from FCS to FBS and made them immediate contenders. And now he's on a mission to rebuild Indiana football with a ruthless philosophy. Standards over slogans, results over excuses, and culture over hype. This isn't just a story about football. It's a master class in leadership, discipline, and winning mindset. Let's get into it. This is the 7 leadership secrets of Curt Cignetti. Now, I'll let you know what the 7 secrets are, and then I'll break down each one with quotes from Coach Cignetti himself and how he defines these 7 leadership secrets. So here's the secrets. Number 1, the right influences. Number 2, have a blueprint, a plan. Number 3, no self-imposed limitations. Change the way people think. Number 4, how you do something is how you do everything. High standards. Number 5, keep the main thing, the process. Number 6, don't waste time. And number 7, the right people. So let's break down each one of these secrets of leadership that you can apply to any type of leadership, whether you're leading an organization, a company, a sports team, a classroom, a household as a parent. These 7 secrets apply to all of us in every type of leadership. And Coach Cignetti will teach us a master class. Now, again, with each one of these secrets, I'm going to give you quotes from Coach Cignetti himself that I compiled from every available interview I could find on Coach Cignetti, from Coach Cignetti. So let's start with number 1, the right influences. And here's what Coach Cignetti says about this. My dad had the most influence on me of anyone in my life. Highly competitive, great leader, led by example, honest, hard worker, organized, tough, mentally tough. That guy was given his last rites twice, and he lived 43 more years. He worked out for 2 hours every morning religiously. So Curt's dad was his hero. And show me your heroes, I'll show you your future. That's how I think about this. And you've got to choose the right heroes. So you can tell by the way that Curt described his father, that's the man he aspires to be. Now Curt talks about Coach Nick Saban, arguably the greatest coach in the history of college football and maybe of all college sports. And Curt says, I learned more in year one from Coach Saban on how to lead and run a program than I had learned in the previous 27 years. And he said, working for Nick Saban for 4 years was like getting a PhD in organizational management. Here's leadership secret number 2, Curt Cignetti. Have a blueprint, a plan. And here's how Coach Cignetti describes it. You have a blueprint, a plan, a way of doing things, and you work your plan every day. The only expectation for a student athlete in this program is to be where you're supposed to be and do your best, and the process will take care of itself. So as a leader, I challenge you to have a simple plan, a 3 to 5 step plan, a blueprint. Again, it's got to be simple, it's got to be clear, and you've got to stay relentlessly focused on that plan. And I'll also challenge you for leadership secret number 1 to choose the right heroes and find the right mentors and teachers or role models. Okay, that's my challenge to you. Leadership secret number 3 of Curt Cignetti, no self-imposed limitations. Change the way people think. Oh, this is crucial. This is what separates the best from the rest. Honestly, all these are what separate the best from the rest. You got to choose the right heroes, the right influences. You got to have a blueprint, and then you've got to change the way people think. So here's how Coach Cignetti thinks about this. And here's how he thinks in general. And here's what he changes in the way people think. The first thing you have to do is change the way people think inside and outside the program. So that's what Coach Cignetti does when he takes over a program. You've got to change the way people think. And here's the way that he wants them to think. And by the way, this is how all the greats think, all the greatest performers. And here's what he says: our potential here at Indiana is unlimited. You have to stack days, weeks, and moments. And if you do that, there should be no self imposed limitations. We believe that with proper preparation and the commitment and discipline, that there is no self imposed limitations to what we can accomplish. So he makes it clear if you follow the process and you have discipline and you do the right things each day, there should be no self imposed limitations, which is just crucial. He just takes the lid off the potential organizations and the individuals in it. So when he took over Indiana, he spoke very strongly, which is a trait of all great leaders. Now, the way Coach Cignetti speaks is the way all the greatest performers and leaders think. They may not always say it, but this is how they think. I learned that from the great Dr. Nate Zenser, a good friend and mentor of mine, who is the director of performance psychology at West Point, the U.S. Military Academy. He was also Eli Manning's sports psychologist, performance psychologist, when Eli won two Super Bowls with the New York Giants. Now, Dr. Zenser taught me that the way the greatest think, whether it's Muhammad Ali or the way Coach Cignetti speaks, the way they speak is the way the great people think. The greatest performers may not say it like this, but this is how, if we could shrink down inside their head this big, this is how they all think. Okay, so Coach Cignetti said I had to come in with a little confidence and swag. And he's talking about when he came into Indiana. He spoke very brashly and very boldly. And what he described as maybe a little bit out of character. His daughter said, "This isn't how you speak." And he said, I had to do this. I needed to do this to get people excited about Indiana football. So there was a method behind his madness. There was a reason why he spoke so big and strong. And here's what he said famously in a press conference. He said, "It's pretty simple. I win. Google me." And he instantly elevated the confidence of the team and everyone around the team, the fans, the university, by speaking this big. He also said, "I've never taken a backseat to anybody, and I don't plan on starting now." Very powerful. He said, "I have a lot of confidence in our team. We stay in attack mode. We don't look at the scoreboard. We just play ball." He said, "I expect us to score a touchdown. This is expected." He said, "Attack, our offense attacks, our defense attacks." He said, "Fast, physical, relentless, smart, disciplined, poise." I mean, this is just simple and strong. The greatest leaders, they speak simply, they speak strong, and they say the same things over and over again. I call this positive persuasion. And Curt Cignetti, watch his interviews. It's a masterclass in this. He said, "You have to have an indomitable will that cannot be subdued or defeated. You've got to be resilient. The definition of resiliency is being able to overcome the unexpected." He said, "There is one leader in that building and everyone follows that lead. That's one of the keys to success. We have everybody thinking alike." And that's what all the greatest leaders do. They have everyone thinking alike in the right direction, in a way that everyone wins. Not just in a way that the leader wins, but in a way that everyone wins. We all have success. We all have happiness. The message has to be concise, clear, and consistent. This is very, very, very important. And he expands on this. One heartbeat, everyone thinking alike towards the same goal. That's where messaging is important. I put a lot of time into what I'm going to say, and I don't say much to the team. I try to make every word count so that the message resonates. If you talk too much, sometimes you get tuned out. Then it's really hard to get them back. That last paragraph there, that is so important. I strongly suggest you rewind that and listen to that maybe 10 times. Okay, I'm not going to say anything else about that. He said it so perfectly. Now, he goes on to say, we start staff meetings at 7 a.m. I am in there at 5 a.m. When I start talking about the edge, avoiding complacency, getting everyone's mind where it needs to be, it starts the second I walk into that staff room because it's a top-down approach. It starts with me, and I make sure those 10 guys are thinking the way we need to think because it filters down to the players. Leadership secret. So, well, my challenge to you is to really get your mind right and to really remove any self-imposed limitations that you have on yourself and the organization and its ability to succeed at the highest level. It's an inside out job. It always starts in here and between your ears. So you've got to get your mind right. You got to remove any self-imposed limitations. And you also have to learn to speak with confidence. You've got to speak with confidence in the plan. You've got to speak with confidence on the standards. That's my challenge to you as a leader. Speak simple and speak strong and say the same simple things over and over again. Leadership secret number 4 of Coach Curt Cignetti. How you do something is how you do everything. High standards. So here's what Coach Cignetti says. You have to have high standards and expectations. You can never compromise and lower your standards. You have to have consistency day in and day out on maintaining high standards. And there has to be accountability through the entire organization. How you do something is how you do everything. And Coach Cignetti says, I wage a tenacious battle against complacency. That means it's our job as a leader to live and uphold the highest standards of excellence, as I define it, in attitude, effort, and behavior. So for you, my challenge to you as a leader is get crystal clear on what the highest standards are of attitude, effort, and behavior in yourself and your organization. Okay, let me give you some examples, one for each of those: attitude, effort, and behavior. Attitude, relentless solution focus. Learned that from the great Dr. Jason Selk, great friend or mentor of mine, one of the world's greatest living experts on success, mental toughness, and happiness. I highly recommend his book, Relentless Solution Focus. But that's an attitude, relentless solution focus. That's a mindset. Effort, Dr. Selk also talks about 100% intensity 100% of the time. That's how you have to think about it no matter what you're doing in any aspect of your life. Your relationships, your health, and your work, give 100% intensity 100% of the time. And then behavior, as Curt Cignetti says, keep the main thing the main thing. Focus on what's most important every day, the 1 or 2 or 3 most important things, and do them over and over again every day. That's attitude, effort, and behavior. Now, I ask you, as a leader, I want you to think about, are you living the highest standards of attitude, effort, and behavior as I just defined them for you in those 3 key examples? And then are you upholding them as a leader? You have to set them, you've got to live them, and you've got to uphold them in that order. And they've got to be simple. Leadership secret number 5 of Coach Curt Cignetti. Keep the main thing the main thing. The process. So here's how Coach Cignetti talks about the process and keeping the main thing the main thing. We are never about results. We are process oriented. I don't know what the future holds, but I know how we are going to prepare every day for the future. And there will be no self-imposed limitations on what we could accomplish. And when we take the field, we will be prepared and confident. You've got to keep the main thing, and eliminate the noise and clutter, which means everything else, all the things you cannot control, you've got to eliminate the noise and clutter, and you've got to focus on keeping the main thing, the process, your daily process goals, your daily habits. Stack days, moments, hours, and not get sidetracked by all the other stuff. Coach Cignetti says, stay where your feet are. Stay focused in the present moment. Control the controllables. We will try to play that way, 1 play at a time, 6 seconds per play. Every play has a life and history of its own. Never too high, never too low. On to the next play. Coach Cignetti says, I want today to be the best day it can be. What's down the road, nobody knows. So just win the day today. Make today the best day it can possibly be. He also says, I firmly believe that you either get better or you get worse. And if you're not striving to get better, you are getting worse. End quote. Well, how do we get better? Okay, we have to get get the right influences, choose the right heroes. We have to continue to work on our mind, no self-imposed limitations, and then we've got to set the highest standards and follow a simple process. And then lastly, on process, he says the process never changes. How you do something is how you do everything. And if you don't have the time to do it right, when can you have the time to do it over? And if you can't be accountable in terms of being where you're supposed to be and being 5 minutes early and giving your best effort and doing things correctly, whether it's technique in the weight room or on the game field, or give them good effort, then you don't belong here. It's high standards and it's expectations. It's my job to get them to think right between their ears. So my challenge to you is identify your simple process. I want you to create a simple plan of 3 to 5 keys to success, principles. Okay, then I want you to define a simple process, the 3 to 5 things you've got to do on a daily basis, over and over and over again, that you and your team will find the highest success and create the highest success with that process. Leadership secret number 6 of Coach Curt Cignetti: don't waste time. And here's how Coach Cignetti talks about time, better than almost anyone I've ever heard talk about time. So pay attention. My big thing is to always have a sense of urgency every second, minute, hour of the day. But I am also a big believer, if you're organized and structured, you don't need to spend 18 hours in the office every single day. So what Coach Cignetti is saying here, you've got to maximize your minutes. Okay, you've got to have a plan. You've got to know exactly what to focus on every day of the process. And then you go home. You don't need to work people to death. To me, if someone's trying to work you to death and really force you to work these long and extra hours, they either don't have a plan, okay, they don't have a process, and or they're trying to manipulate you for them to achieve their own goal and success, whether it's your boss at work who wants to look good to his or her boss, or it's the owner of the company who wants you to help create wealth for them at the own expense of your health and mental health and happiness and relationships. Right? So be mindful. Go find someone who has a plan and who respects your time, who wants you to have a life, good relationships in your life, and wants you to have good mental and physical health and enjoy your life. Someone actually cares. Now, this is the highest type of leader, and these leaders are so rare. The leaders that want you to have success and happiness both inside and outside of work, and not just they're not just working you to death for their own success. Okay, so be mindful of who you follow, and also if you're a leader, what are you doing with your own people's time? Be respectful of their time. Have the discipline. Be a professional. Be a true leader, the one who actually cares about people's success and happiness inside of work. And you can do this and still win at the highest level if you have the right influences and you learn from the greats, if you get your mind right, no self-imposed limitations, if you set and live and uphold the highest standards of excellence, and if you have a simple process that you will repeat daily. That's my challenge to you. So Curt Cignetti goes on to say, I'm a short practice guy. We get more done in an hour and 45 minutes than what most people will get done in 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's huge. He's telling you right there, you can do it if you've got a simple plan and you've got high standards and you've got a process. He says, I try to create an environment where we are efficient. When we are in the office, it's all business. We are always working toward a goal. When we are done, we go home. I don't make guys stay in the office until 10 at night. I come in the office and organize the day. I'm usually in the office at least 2 hours before the coaches are in, so we are working efficiently. We practice the same way. And when we are done with our work, guys can leave. He says the players like the way we are with the program. I think people don't like when you waste their time. Like keeping a guy in a meeting for 2 hours when you can get it done in an hour and 15 minutes. Or being on the field for 2.5 hours when you can get it done in 1 hour, 35 minutes. By the same token, we are going to hold people accountable. There's no BS. You either buy in or you buy out. Good players want to be coached. They want you to develop them so they can be the best they can be. So it's about what he's saying here. It's about don't waste an extra minute when you don't need to. Minimum effective dosage for greatness, as I describe it and teach to my clients. And to do that, you've got to hold people accountable. You got to set the highest standards. So that's what it's about. I try to keep those guys fresh. You, I mean, I try to keep those guys fresh. We're efficient. We're organized. We're working. We don't waste time. And when we're done, I tell them, go home. And I'm the same way with the team and meetings and on the practice field. And lastly, he says, Michael Jordan says you have to be a little bit selfish to be the best. That means saying no to your friends or doing things that you shouldn't be doing that aren't going to help you be the best you can be. So to master your time and be efficient, you've got to say no to a lot of things that aren't getting you closer to your goals, inside and outside of work, on the field and in your life. You got to say no so you can say yes to the most important things, your goals, whether that's to be a national championship football player or to get to the NFL as a player or to be the best family member you could possibly be. Also, that's a great goal. So my challenge to you is to really look at where you're wasting time and what you need to say no to, and really set a parameter around your time. It's called Parkinson's law. A task takes the amount of time that you give it. So look at your time and say, where am I wasting time? Where could I have a meeting that I'm running for an hour? How can I do it in 30 minutes or even 15 minutes or even not at all? Eliminate it totally. So really take a look at where you're wasting time in your life personally and professionally and what you need to say no to, and also where you need to cut the time in half, which is, to do that, you've got to say no to the inessential. Lastly, and maybe the most important, or one of the most important on this list, and I left it for last because it's so important. I want to end it with this. Habit number 7, secret number 7 of Coach Cignetti, the right people. And Coach Cignetti says good players want to be coached. They want to be held to high standards. And that's true. Great performers across any discipline, they want to be coached hard. They want to be held to the highest standards. They love that. They want that. He says, I don't sugarcoat things. I tell you how it is. And that's important for our growth, what we're doing right and what we could do better. The greatest leaders don't sugarcoat things. They let us know exactly where we stand for good and for bad. And the leaders that we respect and admire the most from our past, who helped us get better in any aspect of our life, whether it was a teacher in school, a sports coach, maybe a therapist even, a doctor who didn't sugarcoat things with us, one of our parents or a loved one, someone who raised us, the ones who didn't sugarcoat it, the ones who are the most direct and they cared about us are the ones that we respect and admire the most in hindsight. So Coach Cignetti says at the end of the day, it's all about people. The people you hire and the people you recruited. They have to have strong character, strong passion, and the ability to be successful. Okay, I don't want to say anything else about that. He said that so concisely and so beautifully. I love that. He also says what he looks for in a coach. He talks about this, what he's looking for in a coach, a leader. I'm always looking for character, a guy that's eager, intelligent, no task too big or too small. My dad told me a long time ago when I was getting into coaching, only get into it if you can't live without it. And so you're looking for a young, eager, industrious guy that has good communication skills and a presence and understands it's a learning process, end quote. Beautifully said in terms of what to look for in a leader. It's about people. You've got to bring in the right people through the door, coaches and players, and create an environment where they can become the best version of themselves. And lastly, he says you have to have the right kind of people. They either buy in or they buy out. Guys we bring in have the ability to be successful. They have a good foundation of character, attitude, work habits. Teamwork can be moldable. But if a guy is kind of selfish, inconsistent, has poor discipline off the field, this isn't the place for him. So my challenge to you is, just like Coach Cignetti has done, know exactly what you're looking for. Good character, good work ethic, coachable, a learning mindset, passion, loves playing football or coaching football. Have a list of exactly what you're looking for in the people you'll bring into your organization, onto your team. And make sure, first and foremost, you're living that yourself at the highest level. because we attract who we are in life. We attract what we are in life. People don't listen to what we say, they do what they see us do if we're in a leadership position. They don't do what we say, they do what they see. So know exactly what you're looking for and make sure you're living that yourself first. And also know exactly what you're not looking for, as Coach Cignetti described it. Selfish, inconsistent, poor discipline off the field. That's the inversion, the opposite of what he's looking for. But again, most importantly, identify the type of people you want to have in your organization. Make a short list, 3 to 5 things, and then make sure you're living that to the highest level and upholding that in your organization if you expect to bring great people in. So those are the 7 leadership secrets of Coach Curt Cignetti. Masterful leader. Really happy for his success at Indiana. He deserved it. He paid his dues over decades. And he's really making a positive difference in the lives of the people that work for him, the players that play for him, the community at large at Indiana. I'm really happy for him to have the success that he's had. Now, if you want to have that kind of success in your life, follow the 7 secrets of Coach Cignetti. I challenge you to identify the one on this list. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on each one of these. Whichever one you score the lowest on and you think is the most important, I challenge you to work hard on that for the next 30, 60, 90 days and get better in that key leadership habit that Coach Cignetti lives and embodies. I wish you an elevated life of success, happiness, and positive impact.